Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Ladies Tale Podcast. Guess what time it is? Lady Tale Podcast time. I'm so excited because I haven't done a Ladies Tale podcast in a minute. And when I say a minute, I mean like 24 hours. I'm sorry. No, let me try to be semi-serious today. I have no reason to do this, though. And if you recognize, there's no Jade here. So you know what's about to happen. There's going to be dancing, and then there's going to be .common. Okay, I'm done. I'm Winona. Oh my goodness. I remember to introduce myself. High five to myself. What? Oh my goodness. I feel professional. Pat my hair. Okay. This is what happens when Jade isn't here to make me real, like a real professional host. Anyway, I wrote books with Jade. It's called the End I Thought series. So we have End I Thought Divorce Was Bad, and I Thought Being Grown Up Was Easy. If Only I Were Me, a memoir in verse, Widow's Web, Widow's Debt, and Foreign Coffee. All 6 of those books are on your audio books, wherever you get them. Now, if you want to hear about the other 11 books, and if you're like not mathing today or math slow, that's 6 plus 11 equals 17. And yes, I'm doing it in sign language for some reason. I have no idea why. I should have did that in sign language. Hold on. So I'm doing it in sign language for some reason. I have no idea why. There we go. Oh, because Jade's not here. I could do these things. All right. You can find out the rest of everything that you ladies are doing, not sign language, because we never put that up, on www.endithoughtLadies.com. One more time, because I got to do it like a car salesman. www.endithoughtLadies.com. There you go. But you're not here to hear about me, because I can talk about me and my cuteness with my red bow all day. You're here to hear about our wonderful guests. That was a little too ghetto on the end of that. I apologize to all of our people who come here for ladylike behavior. Wonderful guest, would you like to introduce yourself?
Hi. First of all, you're amazing. Second of all, my name is Nikka Graf Lanzaroni, and I was supposed to think about 3 things that I wanted the world to know about me, and one of those things is that I do very poorly with on-the-spot improv. So that's one of the things. The second is that I really love my cat and my husband. And yay. And yeah, what would the third thing be?
What do you do for a job?
What do I do for a job? Well, whatever the nice people would like me to do for a job. Most of the time that is singing and dancing in musicals, and sometimes, very rarely, the walking and talking, but mostly the singing and dancing.
So I'd like to do one thing. I would like to do it poorly, and I apologize to my guests. I just want to say, my name is Nikki with an I. Yes, this with an I. My name is Nikka with an A, not Nikki with an I. Nikki with an I name's E. My A says ah, so it's Nikka. Yay! I try. I love it.
I mean, with like, oh, love to my friend Kevin, who wrote those parody lyrics, because you know that is a riff on Liza with a Z, which was written by John Kander and Fred Ebb for the special Liza with a Z. So yeah. So as a person who has like a complicated name that people don't feel comfortable pronouncing, I was like, what if I did this? But I need to know how it ended up in front of your eyeballs.
You do not want to hear that story. I swear to you. It's boring. I went, I haven't done a Ladies Tale podcast in a while. I love actors and actresses. Actresses in New York. That's how I found you.
Wow. It's nice to know that my SEO is like that high.
And then I was like, oh, okay, that works for me.
Great. I love that.
And then, well, first I found the video and I was like, oh yeah, no. We got to have her on, because
who is this absolute crazy person?
It gets stuck in your head. Like when I saw your name, I immediately was like, I'm Nikka with an A, not Nikka with an A. And I was like, all right, I gotta stop. And Jason was like, what are you singing all day? And I'm like, Nikka. All right, that's all I really know about you. So let's get to know each other.
Oh my God, yes, hi.
So I'm assuming that you have done singing and dancing in other places than, you know, on YouTube. So can you tell us a bit about that?
I can. I am I've been living in New York for a long time now, and been singing and dancing in some, version of those things pretty much my entire life. I was born and raised in Los Angeles, and pretty much my whole entire family's in show business. So that's kind of how that happened. But I'm the only like dancer in my family. So I kind of knew that like I didn't want to stay in LA because that was not like where the Broadway was, and I wanted to do the Broadway things. So I
have weird questions after this.
Please. Okay, great. Go for it.
Okay. There's like 5 of them in my head, so I'm gonna do 2.
Okay.
1, you chose New York over LA.
I did.
Don't you miss the sun?
I don't. There are people. Okay, so the way that I kind of describe LA is like LA, the people who LA is for, LA is like super for those people. I am not one of those people. It's just like not how I'm built. I need to be like with humans. Like I need to know that like if I leave my house, I'm going to see another person. And the last couple of years have been like crazy for everyone. But like most of the time, you're reminded of the fact that like you are a person who lives in community with other people. And they are not just people who like, LA, I feel like it's very easy to get into kind of a homogenous zone. And if you're auditioning a lot, you're like walking into rooms full of people who look exactly like you because they're trying to pick one of those people. You don't necessarily come across a lot of people who do different things for jobs or who like exist across different types of existing that you do in New York. And there's something about that, like that collective, New Yorkers have this thing that like, maybe I hate you, but I got you. And that kind of like unspoken community thing between New Yorkers is like the greatest thing.
I have things to say about that. I really don't want to say them on camera. So I'm going to go like this. We find that we end up, when we go to LA, we end up hanging out with people that came from the East Coast.
Interesting.
So we're like, oh, we have LA friends. And we're like, yeah, Jersey, New York, Florida. What?
It happens.
And the people who came from LA, I'm just like, we have friends from LA, I think. But like I don't know. It's weird, but I think I get what you're saying. Moving on.
I also like people born and raised in LA. Like I know that we're kind of unicorns. There's not, you don't really come across a lot of people who are like born and raised in Los Angeles and like live somewhere else. But we are there.
Yes, I love it there, by the way. The first time I went, I get it.
See, then you are one of the people who it is for.
But like, I've always known that, like, I was born in the wrong place. Like, I saw LA the first time on television, like, nah, that's it. That's it. That's where I belong.
Like, why are we here? Why are we not? And that's how I felt about New York. Like my whole entire life, I was like, I don't understand why I don't live here. Why can't I just be here all of the time?
Then I'm in LA traffic. And I really dislike New York traffic, like, because y'all drive. Yeah. How do you do the driving thing? Do you drive in New York?
I do drive, but not I don't like drive to commute places. I drive, like, we have a car sort of to get out of the city or to like go to IKEA without too much of a headache getting stuff back from IKEA, or like, taking day trips. Like it's been, but we're not like commuter drivers. And I don't know how those people do that every single day like that. But they do. And we just like park on the street and that's it.
Okay. So, what was my next question? My next question was going to be something interesting, and then I completely forgot. I got an email and I went, oh crap, I've messed this. So, my next question was going to be about like dancing. Like you said, your whole family is kind of like in the entertainment industry, and you chose to be a dancer. So what and why?
I also sing and I also act, and like my whole, my parents met doing a Broadway show, and my uncle's a child actor turned adult actor turned screenwriter director, and I have a cousin who is a Tony Award winner Broadway legend. Like and my grandfather was like was a group singer. And so like anything you hear basically on like the oldie station, like he is singing backup on those, on all of those songs. And you know, when my mom was little, they lived in Vegas for a while because my grandfather's group was opening for the Rat Pack. Like there was a whole bunch of very interesting stuff that was going on. But I don't know. I always gravitated toward movement as well. And, you know, thankfully had family that was supportive and understood, like, if this is the thing that you really love to do, like, this is what it's going to take. And we're okay with it. And I went to college for musical theater, and then I went to like a performing arts high school, and it was all just like I was like very in it pretty much my whole life. So when I finally got to like be a grown up and finally moved to New York, which is the only thing I ever had wanted to do, it felt like, you know, not that I knew what I was doing, because none of us ever know what we're doing ever. But you know, it was nice to know that like I had at least been a little bit set up for how kind of complicated and difficult it is, in a truthful way, but also with that knowledge that like it is actually possible to be a person who does this as a job. How's that for a long-winded answer?
No. First of all, I think that's amazing and encouraging to everyone out there that it's actually possible to do this as a job. Because I mean, how many times are we creatives and we're like, is this real? Like, can I really do this? I mean, everyone goes, oh, that's cute. You know, it's nice that you do that, but what's your real job? This could be my job.
Yeah, like this is actually my job. Sometimes it's not my job. A lot of the times it's not my job. But when it is my job, I feel, you know, a little bit like I'm in the correct place doing the correct thing.
So what challenges did you find that were unique to theater?
Challenges I find that are unique to theater have to do with, I mean, first of all, like the actual skill set that is required to do theater is very different than the skill set that is required to do TV and film. And that like, there's the kind of immediacy of theater and the need to be kind of moment to moment present in anywhere you are, because like you have no idea what's about to, it's like, you know what's going to happen because hopefully you are well rehearsed, and you know what's going on, but like the idea that anything could happen and you cannot just stop, you know, when you're on a set and something goes wrong, you can stop and you can reset and you can do the thing again. But I'm thinking of a time in a show I was doing that like in the opening number, a whole bunch of people are barefoot and a light exploded on stage just as Andre DeShields playing a wolf like comes crawling out on stage, takes one look at the stage and goes, no, and like crawls back off stage until somebody who can deal with the light. But meanwhile, not everyone knows what's going on, and it has to be dealt with. And there are things like that like it keeps those parts of your brain really active. That like, how can I figure out what to do with this thing that is coming at me in real time and make it look like, you know, if I'm doing it right, it doesn't look like anything's happening. And those are really good life skills too, because when you get, you know, we get thrown all sorts of things at any given moment, and the ability to just like pull the lens back a little bit and have all of that happen in a split second, going, okay, how am I going to deal with these 6 things that are happening and make it look like I know what I'm doing with myself and be able to like move forward. So it's that kind of thing is really the skill set.
No, I remember, I understand, I have nowhere close to the knowledge that you have on this, but I remember like when I was growing up, I wanted to be a dancer. I came home to my mom, I want to be a dancer. And then my teacher explained that like there's no real money in dancing. So yeah, I quickly changed my mind back to I want to be a writer. I like that.
Tons of money there.
Like that's better, right? So anyway, I remember one of the things that my teacher said that really has helped me through life. And she was like, when you're dancing on stage, things happen and your job is to continue to dance like it's okay. because the audience doesn't know it's not supposed to happen, but you have to keep going like it's perfectly fine. Because if you stop, then everyone knows that something went wrong.
Yeah, I mean, unless there's like a very serious thing going wrong and like someone is very much going to get hurt, then like please stop. Oh, for the love of it, like stop. Everyone will understand. Like my foot will be, ripped off by this treadmill. Right. Yeah. Right. No one wants to walk on broken glass in bare feet. Like those things, please stop. But for the most part, there's so much about like how can I figure out all of these things, and like it just, I don't know, there's sort of an aliveness that I find exists doing theater that like just doesn't exist anywhere else. So and that's how they get you.
You get addicted to the enjoyment of almost improv with the body. There you go. So you also sing.
I do.
Can you tell us a bit about how you got started? Like, I know how you got started dancing. How did you discover that you had the talent to sing as well?
Kind of the same thing. My parents, I didn't necessarily grow up in a house where there was like music playing in the background, because my parents are both professional musicians. And so it's like, if you're going to listen to music, you will sit down and do that actively. There's like no background music in my house. But when I was little, my dad would write these children's musicals for a theater that was like not too far away. And I would like sing on demos a lot. And so it was a whole lot of just like throwing me out in my dad's studio in the backyard and like sing through this. And my mom has a really wonderful lullaby album called Baby's Broadway Lullabies. And you can hear 7-year-old me singing on a couple of tracks. And so
it's nice to know you had a professional career at 7.
I did.
You're a recording artist.
Very professional. A very professional recording. Tiny child. I don't think I got paid to do that, unfortunately.
They didn't even give you candy?
I'm sure they did. I also have a terrible memory, so
okay.
I wouldn't know. You could tell me anything and I'd probably believe it.
You memorize all those lines and dance steps. I mean, who can expect you to memorize trivial things from your past?
Yeah, exactly. I have a lot of work to do that requires them, high functioning short-term memory. So all of the long-term memory is like, yeah, sure, you're here now, so that's fine.
Oh my goodness. I have to ask about the advice. What advice would you give to anyone who is looking to get into this? I'm personally want to hear the advice because, I was looking to get into this. I'm not anymore, believe me. I know what I want to say before you answer that question.
Yes.
So unfair that since you dance, you get to have the dancer body. I was looking at pictures and I was like, it's not fair. Okay, now you can answer.
I will accept the compliment, but do the thing I do where I like want to curl up into a tiny ball. Because I will just say thank you. Okay. What is the advice? First of all, just like work really hard. You have to like want to do it more than how hard it is to do. And I don't know, the big piece of advice that I always tend to give people is that for not like younger kids, but for people who are, just starting out professionally or like coming into that like post-college kind of universe, is that like a lot of people will tell you sort of the old trope of like, if you can picture yourself doing anything else ever, like go do that, because it means like you don't really like, that's actually so super not true, because it's our job to play people doing other things. Like what kind of a storyteller does that make you if you cut yourself off from being interested in the world? Like being interested in the world and having hobbies and being a whole entire person only makes you a more interesting storyteller, only makes you a more interesting actor, only makes you a more interesting person. And you have to, can you hear? Oh wait, there's a siren out my window.
There's an emergency going on outside the window. Okay.
This street is fairly busy, and there's like one of the larger hospitals is like kind of at the end of it. So that's a straight shot for a lot of ambulances. And then there's like a fire station 2 blocks down. So we're fine. We're well protected.
That's what's important.
Sure.
Well, that means that people like when you have an emergency, they can respond quickly.
Exactly. oh crap, I lost it.
What were you saying before?
What was I saying?
Talking about people.
So like you have to be an actor like some of the time. You have to be a person all of the time. Even when you're being an actor, you're still a person. And cutting yourself off from having hobbies or pursuing things in a parallel fashion, like do all of the things that are interesting to you, do all of the things that you think you might want to do them all at the same time, and you will figure out how to prioritize those things. Like you will figure it out. But to only think that you're allowed to only love this one thing is just such a detriment. And it's something that I wish that I had allowed myself when I was younger, like really allowed myself to have the interests that I thought I wanted to also have, but felt like I wasn't permitted to, because it meant that I could love something else, which would mean that I wasn't really loving this at the same time. And so like, why deny yourself the fullness of the human experience? How about that?
I completely understand. I currently study like 3 different things, and people are like, why? You know, what you really need to do is be like all into one thing. And I'm like, if I was all into one thing, how bored would I be?
So bored.
Like that would take up way too much time. And I love what they're saying. I should be like all into waitressing. What? No.
But you learn so much more about human behavior from waitressing than you do about sitting. Oh my God.
I learned about human behavior sitting at a bar, just watching,
exactly,
and listening to the conversations. And that way I don't have to waitress and I get to drink. And I have snack food on top and good pub food. Oh, please. That's much better.
Truly.
Yes. Anyway, I want to thank you so much for taking the time out today. And can you tell us where we can watch you in something when Broadway is fully back? Is it fully back?
For the most part, fully back. There have been a couple of blips recently. I think something was going through a couple of casts that hopefully has moved its way away from everybody else. But yeah, I will. Where will I be? I will be in Chicago this summer, doing an out-of-town tryout of a new, hopefully Broadway-bound show. And otherwise, I am at Nikka Lands on pretty much everywhere you can be, with varying degrees of.
Or you can type in New York
in
Broadway, and you know, if you keep scrolling, her name will pop up.
I love that. Truly.
Also, can you tell people where to find that wonderful YouTube song?
That wonderful YouTube song can be found kind of all over. If you search Nikka with an A, it's on my website, I think at a couple of different places. And maybe I will like make an IGTV thing out of it and put it somewhere so that it can be in another place. But yes, if you search Nikka with an A, it should be there.
Where were you performing this?
Either, I'm not sure which version. Either I was at 54 Below, or I was at Vitello's in LA. And I don't quite remember which one, but I've done it a couple of different places. One within like my own solo show, and then one within a show that a duo show that I do with my mom. So
thank you so very much for taking the time out to be with us today. And where can we follow you on social media?
At Nikka Lands, pretty much everywhere.
Great. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap us up then. So my name is Winona. Oh wait, I'm doing that twice today. Ooh, I feel like I'm 2 times the professional today then. No, I have
just extra professional. But you know, like people say that people need to hear things like 11 times before they hear them once. So you're doing it right.
Oh, you know, she just said that, and I was about to be like, well, let's go for 10 more. No, I'm joking.
Let's do it. I support you.
Thank you. You can find out everything that your ladies are up to at www.andithoughladies.com. And while you're there, go down to the middle of the page and you can see the charities that we proudly support. We ask that you take the time out to look at them and help them out, especially during this difficult time. We thank you in advance for doing that. Also, remember that wisdom is all around you if you're open to finding it and accepting it. So peace and love, you guys, from Winona and the Missing Jade. Oh, yeah. Thanks for listening.